For the first time tonight, so I don't even know. Okay, I think it's active already. Yes, this is to just put up some updates on the protests that happened July 3rd in Lagos State. I've said it already, it's a success. Don't ask me where Igboho was or whether he was around or not. It's not even important as much as the fact that he inspired people to step out and people came out. With the heavy presence of the police, people still showed that they were tired and they had to express themselves. There's no doubt anymore that this regime wants to silence every voice possible, that nobody should be able to express themselves. You want to spank people, you want to beat them, and you still don't want them to talk. It's dangerous. So people are talking. Irrespective of heavy military presence, was a statement. And that statement is loud and clear. But it is also dangerous to the people not to begin to forge from here. The question, therefore, is what next after that rally? I would think that we should take it further. Citizens should take it further, especially because you have a government that doesn't want to listen to people. You have a government who will not grant referendum. You have a government who doesn't want to respect your rights to anything. If you do not at least engage that government first of all, other requests or demands will be too high. You are under a government that does not respect your right to freedom of expression, yet you want that government to guarantee your right to referendum. It's too far now. And I said something earlier yesterday. If a Sunday Igboho could inspire people to step out, as Nnamdi Kanu could inspire people to stay at home and not come out at all, the stay-at-home order works in the southeast. And even despite that, Shiore will be in detention, and Coalition for Revolution will continue to mobilize people to step out. The future is already choosing its own leaders. The future of Nigeria is already choosing its own leaders. Consequently, we need to make sure that we start aligning these forces together. All oppressed people may have individual different characteristics. Oppressed people may have individual different religions. Oppressed people may have individual different ethnics. But all oppressed people have one thing in common. It is their oppression. And if Shoure's tiny group of people could push against the tyranny of police, if the tiny crowd of Igboho could pull that stunt on July 3rd, if the crowd of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the east could almost shut down the southeast, imagine what the combined number and effort of all these blocks would do if they come out at once. Just a moment, let me work on my lights. What's the problem with you? Yeah. I think it's better again. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Can you imagine what the combined effort of all these blocks would mean? So to take this further, it becomes very important that we need to start harmonizing all these efforts to come together and pull a very big one, so that all oppressed people can be under an umbrella. And by multiple effects or multiple factor of their numbers can make a huge impact. Otherwise, it will be a long story. But we have all demonstrated, citizens have all demonstrated that they are tired. They are tired. So, what do you suggest? Because for me, the future is already choosing its own leaders. And we must look for a way to start seeing how these forces can align. First of all, get this out of the way. Get this tyranny out of the way. Because if you cannot guarantee your freedom of right to expression, you cannot even guarantee right to referendum or right to self-determination. That's too far. So you must get tyranny out of the way first of all, and that's very important. All oppressed people, it is time all of you come under one umbrella, or let me say all of us, come under one umbrella and make the important and significant statement that you're tired. The only thing this government is afraid of is people coming together and saying, we don't want this or we no go agree. Government is not afraid of terrorists. This government is not afraid of terrorists, especially because they work hand in hand with terrorists. Why is government always afraid that people want to step out to make valid demands on them? Whenever people are killing themselves, government does not care. This government doesn't care that Igbos, Hausa, and Yorubas are having problems. As far as it doesn't affect their... You don't understand what they mean by circle when they say you're a dot in the circle. The circle is the circle of politicians who are collecting their revenue, their allocation, everything, allowances, not affected. That is the circle. As far as that circle doesn't break, the circle of every month they collect, they go for loan, they collect it, they do everything. It doesn't affect them. Whatever you are doing, poor people killing themselves on the street does not affect them. That is the circle. Every month, that's the circle. But whenever people come together to make valid demand, they will shoot hot water cannon, shoot tear gas, shoot everything. But whenever you come out and it is only to kill one another, you are a dot in the circle. It has become important, therefore, that all these blocks begin to find a way to come together. Even if after getting this behemoth out of the way, you now want to go your separate ways again, at least by that time you are guaranteed of your right to speak, your right to expression. But you can't even speak now. You want to speak, they militarize the streets. You want to do this, they militarize everywhere. What is wrong if all oppressed people can form a united front and begin, therefore, to make the right statement, to say we don't want this tyranny anymore. Let us have right to freedom of expression. We are in a democracy. We can make the democracy work. If you don't like it, as far as we have removed the tyrant, it will become easy to do your self-determination. We said it long ago. You did not agree. Look now, they are beginning to bust people in their homes one by one. Oh, we have constitutional force majeure. Consequently, we are not even under Nigerian law anymore. But you are looking for lawyers of Nigeria, the same Nigeria you are no longer under. to come and help you fight for the release of those who were abducted. Are they doing that under constitutional force majeure? No. They are going to be doing it under the constitution that is still recognized so far. They are still going to be treating you as Nigerians whose passport you still carry. You are not beginning to speak the language you pretended you never would speak before. Do you not think that you are only being oppressed and repressed by a tyrannical government? Would you rather not therefore begin to look at a way to say, at least, even if our long-term goal is to have our own individual republic, which is not a wrong. I mean, it's not a wrong thing to ask for that I want to be a Yoruba man in a Yoruba nation. It's not wrong to ask for. But we know that we are still trapped somewhere. And where we are trapped, there's a Pharaoh. We must deal with that Pharaoh first of all. Until you do that, until you first recognize your reality and deal with your Pharaoh, you are not going to any paradise. So you are not going. Because this one is not ready to release you. At the same time, he is not willing to even allow you right in the current. So what would you rather do? Before you get to that paradise, you are currently still in an entrapment. You're in a contraption. At least you deal with that first before you move to the next. But to wrap it up, all I just want to say is that to take this further, we need to forge a kind of front that makes it possible for people to sustain. Imagine what happened in Lagos on July 3rd is sustained. If Shore could pull June 12th, Nnamdi Kanu could pull individual days of sit-at-home, Sunday Igboho could pull a July 3rd. Imagine you now pull together and you sustain it over days. If you are able to sustain that kind of thing, Shore has the clout to do up to 28 states in a day. No, we have seen it. Shore has the clout to do up to 20-something states in a day. Imagine you now pull efforts together and you sustain it over days, not just one day. You sustain it and say, this behemoth must get out of the way. This tyrant must get out of the way, so that we can now begin to determine our future by ourselves. Whether the future will be Oduduwa Republic and Biafra Republic, at least we should be able to decide it by ourselves. Because the tyrant will not allow it. So imagine we are able to sustain it over days. Sustain it over days. Unite. Oppressed people, unite. I'll see you again later.